Hello and welcome to Autumn Valley episode 5. I'm Rignito and this is my first edited time-lapse video. So if there's any issues with quality, just kind of bear with me and just make suggestions on ways I can improve in the comments. And we'll go from there and try to grow this channel. Alright, so today's projects are going to be primarily the harbor and downtown, along with a couple other little side projects along the way. So the problem in the harbor, as you can see, is just completely clogged traffic between the cargo dock and the freight station. And then downtown, the project is putting in some elevated pedestrian pathways. Those pathways were somewhat inspired by Flux Trance and what he did in his third episode of Avalon. If you haven't seen that, definitely go check that out when you're done here. Love Flux's work. So anyway, so what I'm doing here now is I'm moving the docks around, trying to make a little more space. Those are Strict Toaster's docks that I'm using. I believe he created those for Sinu. Correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong. So got the land expanded out a little bit, put some fresh keys in, kind of trying to smooth it out, get it all nice and level as best I can. And then I'm going to draw basically a little roundabout here to service the cargo dock. So now I'm using Move It to round off the edges there. And then going through and I'm just adjusting the number of lanes in each segment just to kind of make sure that there's no unnecessary unused lanes once I go through here with the traffic manager and connect everything up. I really want as much as possible to use as many lanes as I can, which we all know the AI, even with the better traffic AI that comes with traffic manager, doesn't really help enough. You can see there I had a little glimmer of hope. I'm like, oh, it's flowing, and it's no longer flowing. So now we're all backed up again, and so now I'm just going through, and you saw I changed a few more roads through there. Now I'm just kind of trying to figure out what the heck I'm going to do. And I decide I'm going to leave it alone for a little bit and get back to the paths downtown. Here I'm trying to kind of fix up this connection here, get rid of the glitchiness. I think that looks pretty good like that. There'll be more detailing later. There I was going through this time lapse, by the way, is actually taken directly from my last Twitch stream. So this time lapse is actually one 3-hour session sped up. So if it seems like I don't get a whole lot done here, that's why. This is just straight 3 hours of streaming live on Twitch, trying to mess with this stuff a little bit, and then just taking that footage directly and editing it down. The reason I decided to start editing these is because the first 4 episodes of the series I literally just finished up on Twitch, clicked export, and sent it to YouTube and called it a day. The first 4 episodes of the series are about 2.5 hours long each. That's really too long for a YouTube video, especially for something like this. Nobody wants to just sit around and watch one person do one building session for 3 hours unless they're watching it live on Twitch. At least that's my opinion. I don't like to sit around and watch the really super long ones on YouTube. That's not what I'm there for. So I'm going to assume that you're not either, so I'm going to shorten my videos from here on out. At least the City Skylines videos. There are some, I do occasionally play some other games on Twitch, and I may just continue just straight dumping them. But anyway, back to the video at hand here. Basically, I'm trying to make an extra exit so that people don't have to go back around that congested block to get back out this way. I was having some issues trying to squeeze that road in there before going to the single lane, single tile, one-way road. Now I'm going back through and adjusting the traffic manager lane connections again and praying to God that this works. And as you can see, it's just really not. Yes, granted, I know sometimes you do something and you gotta wait a while for the traffic to clear out. Actually, off camera, before I started this, I tried a couple things and even cleared traffic a couple times, and it just built right back up. So now I'm just kind of trying to let it flow a little bit and going back to the downtown pedestrian paths. Now, one of my problems is the fact that I haven't put in a lot of public transit yet, and I know you're seeing some traffic down on the surface here in the downtown, and that's wise because all downtown has for public transit right now is three tram lines. One that loops around downtown one way, a second one that goes the opposite direction around downtown, so one's going clockwise, one's going counterclockwise, and then one more that just goes straight up and down the Central Avenue. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm putting these pedestrian pathways in here, is because I'm not quite ready to do my bus lines and all that yet, because I'm not done building the area. I want to get the rest of the area built up to have all the roads in before I start putting in too much of my public transit, because I don't want to be constantly redoing that. So later down the line, several episodes down the line, I'm sure there will be a big public transit episode where I'll go through and put in a whole bunch of lines and try to get all that working. Coming much sooner than that, though, will be a detailing episode. Actually, the next episode I plan to do a big push on detailing the areas that have already been built. A lot of the areas we're waiting for money to build up, since I am actually not sandboxing this. I'm actually doing the game progression, so that's why a lot of things haven't been detailed yet. They will get detailed. I haven't gotten there yet. Just started getting some good money into the city. So here I'm making another stab at the harbor traffic, changing this entry and exit to kind of go out around the block instead of being a divided avenue. And then next I'm going to try to put a connection between the roundabout and the highway via those tunnels that you just saw there. So basically I'm going to put a tunnel coming off of this roundabout and then go up and connect to the tunnels that are going off to the highway over there. Whenever I stop moving around, I'll get to it, I promise. Looking at it, thinking about it, and here we go. Alright, so now we're going to get some tunnel action, and it takes me a few tries to actually get this tunnel entrance here laid out the way I want it. You can see I really didn't like the way that came out initially there, so here I'm trying to do a little bit of move it to try to straighten it up, and it looks better, but then I kind of screw up that, and then it really screws up, and I'm like, now I gotta do it all over again, and screwed it up there. I think that was because I had it set to ground level by accident. So there, I finally get it on that attempt, get it hooked up, and hopefully that takes care of some of this traffic, but probably not. Actually, I can guarantee you'll see by the end of this video that it does not take care of it at all, not one bit. But, you know, at least I'm trying. You can see my process of how I'm kind of thinking about what can I do here. Next, here in a minute, I'm going to go and add another entrance to the roundabout from the far corner there of the industrial area going back up toward the roundabout. Basically an attempt to try to get people to take that back road off the roundabout rather than taking the main avenue. And I guess I'm getting ahead of myself because, oh wait, no, not too far, because here I go. Alrighty, so maybe, yep, okay. So now we're gonna put this road in here, and I mean they kind of use it, but not the way I anticipate. Do a few connections there with traffic manager, try to keep the traffic flowing smoothly. Yeah, smoothly is quite a joke here. It is not anywhere near smooth at all. By the way, if anyone has any suggestions on how I can improve the traffic flow, as far as the road layout here or anything like that, aside from mass transit, because like I said, that will come later. Any suggestions on how I can improve this flow here would be great. Had a little flash to my desktop there for a second. Sorry about that. And so now we've got that put together again, and we're kind of watching, waiting, see if any of it's going to start clearing up. I am going to probably jump away from this a minute. I think this may be one of the last times we work on this for this episode. More ADD jumping. Sorry if I'm moving the camera too fast. If I'm moving the camera too fast, or if the time lapse is too fast or anything like that, let me know down in the comments. Like I said, this is my first time making a time lapse, so I'm definitely always looking for advice, pointers, tips, and whatever. So please feel free to comment below and let me know what you think. Let me know where I can improve. So I guess I'm still waiting on that to try to clear up. And okay, so I guess they do start using it a little bit better, that slip lane a little bit better. So it looks like they're using that instead of coming in through the roundabout. So now here I'm working on trying to make some room to put an extra fire station down to deal with some of these burnt down buildings that you see me go through deleting. The coverage itself overall I don't think is the main issue. I think the main issue is really more the traffic than anything else. So I don't think putting the fire station there is really gonna help too much, but I try anyway. Like I said though, I think the traffic really is the problem with the burned down buildings over the coverage itself. So as we're still waiting for this to try to clear up, and it's still failing. They're not using the short loop now, but they're still backing up all the same. Looks like it's flowing a little bit smoother up on the man, I stayed in this one spot for a while. Was I waiting on it, or did I step away from this computer for a minute? I don't remember. But surely we're going to come off this scene soon. Come on now, there we go. Okay, so now we're getting into some of the burned down buildings that I've been seeing around town, or some more of them. I know we've hit one or two up already. So now I guess I'm looking for that warehouse. I don't know what I was paused for. Maybe I stopped to talk to someone on the Twitch stream. Okay, so we got our warehouse fixed. No more burnt down warehouse. I'm not too worried about those icons. I'm sure once I get the, I think it was not enough buyers for products. So hopefully once this traffic gets sorted out, maybe that'll help fix some of that too. I don't know, but this traffic really is a mess, and this attempt was so much of a fail. But hey, at least I tried, and I'll try again in another episode. So now here I'm just kind of looking at the traffic around the rest of the town, looking at the heavy spots, and that spot there kind of comes and goes. I know it's because the lack of multiple options for them to get on and off that island, combined with there was a stoplight there, and there were a couple more burned down buildings. Alrighty. So I guess okay. So I noticed some buildings flashing need of power, and so I don't know what I was doing there. I think I was trying to see if I could place a fourth dam, but I said screw it. I don't want to risk flooding the city live on stream, so I decided to come up here and put in a couple solar power stations. And I'm not sure why those trees stayed in, even though Prop and Tree Anarchy was off. But, you know, tree brush tool fixes that right up. So now we're back over to the monorail station and just kind of finally filling in the parking lots. At this point, I've pretty much gotten fed up with the traffic and just said, screw it, I'm moving on. So we're going to do some other little projects like this right here, and then I'm going to go over and start filling in the neighborhoods on the big island over across the bridge at the other end of this monorail. So you see this actually filling up pretty quick, again, because this is one of only 3 connections between downtown and the island. There's this monorail, there's a ferry, and there's a bridge. That's it. There is another bridge at the other end of the island, but it goes to another island and then through the harbor and then to downtown. So that would not be a feasible option to get to downtown. So yes, that connection is there. No, it's not there to service downtown. It's there to service the island and off into future possible expansions once I fill up the 9 tiles and then use the 81 tiles turn on after that. I'm gonna wait until I finish the main progression of the 9 tile base game before I turn on the 81 tiles mod for this project. So here I'm just now I've moved on to hospital, and I didn't want to put the parking spaces on a curve, so I decided to do that. And here I end up deciding that the ploppable asphalt is needed to fix this glitch. So you won't see me use it a whole lot. You see me use ploppable asphalt twice in today's episode. I don't use it a whole lot. I don't detail my intersections usually, unless I'm doing a real major intersection. Like if I end up building a diverging diamond interchange later on somewhere on the highway, I'll probably go ahead and do the ploppable asphalt and all that for that. Probably won't do the lines. I've never gotten that detailed, but on some complex intersections, especially if they start getting glitchy and I can't do anything about the glitchy, then I use the ploppable asphalt. Otherwise, I plan on making the city huge eventually. I want to have plenty of room in my prop count So the less ploppable asphalt I use, the fewer intersections that I detail, the more props I'll have available to me later on. So that's kind of my thought process there, why you won't see me use a lot of the ploppable asphalt, even though it really is a great asset, great mod to have. I do enjoy the decals. I just don't use a lot of them, like I said, to keep the prop count down. I mean, I do have halfway decent system. My CPU's not quite up to the task, but I got plenty of RAM. So yeah, see here, we're still doing the hospital parking. We're getting close to done with the hospital parking. But yeah, as far as since I've brought up my computer now, the CPU is a little bit older. It's a 4th generation Intel i5 4690. Not the K, it's the locked version. I cheaped out, mainly so I could cheap out on the motherboard. But you know, it gets the job done for the most part until the city starts getting big. I do have 24 gigs of RAM, which is nice to go along with my 2068 assets, and 56 currently enabled mods. I decided here now, getting back on topic with the time lapse, that I didn't have enough parking at the monorail. So I turned that connecting road into another little parking lot and moved the handicap spaces forward, and I'm putting in some sidewalks there. The goal there was to try to get people to use those sidewalks instead of walking around in front of all the parking spaces as if the old road was still there. It doesn't work, but hey, it's City Skylines AI. What do you expect? Just getting one more row of parking spaces in there, and then jumping around. I think there I was trying to figure out why I was having those icons pop up, but then kind of said, oh well, moving on. And then now I'm back over the parking lot again for some reason. What am I doing back over here? I don't know. Maybe it was just for conversation on Twitch. So now then, we are finally jumped back over to the island, and the goal now is going to be to kind of expand upon the neighborhood here. Why over here? I don't know, just because I still had room. And I wasn't ready to tackle those empty blocks between the downtown and the highway yet. Still haven't decided what I'm doing there. I'm gonna get some stuff detailed first, probably, before I do that. So while I do have the Plop the Growables mod, I'm not using it because I don't like the fact that if I want to just let something zone and grow, I have to force it to update. And one thing I've noticed when doing that in the past, forcing the updates, is that tall buildings sometimes like to just clip down into the ground and you can only see the top of them, and then you gotta go through and use move it to bring each one back up to their default height. Why it does that, I have no clue. It annoyed the crap out of me, so I quit using it. Here is the point where I am now going to use the ploppable asphalt for the second time on this probably way extremely too close together intersection, obviously closer than you could ever do without Fine Road Anarchy. But you know, it works for now. If it gets congested later, maybe we'll redo that into a roundabout. But you know, there's actually in my hometown of Indianapolis, there's a lot of crazy intersections like that where they're just stupid close together. But so I mean, if you see any resemblances to Indianapolis in building style, that's why I go off. I build based on what I know. But I don't think this really resembles Indianapolis at all, other than maybe the parts of the downtown grid. This is actually probably the first city that I've built where the downtown wasn't based off a central roundabout like Indianapolis is. But so here I'm just about done filling in this neighborhood, getting the rest of the residential in there, taking a quick break to look at my tiles. I think I was just explaining something to a Twitch viewer there. But I've got 7 out of 9 tiles so far, and like I said earlier, once I fill up the 9th tile, then I will enable the 81 tiles mod and go ham on the rest of the map. So yeah, again, I'm all over the place. Like I said before, this is just a single Twitch stream condensed down into a time lapse, so a lot of the ADHD looking around the place is showing things off and talking on Twitch. I edited some of it out, but I didn't want to lose too much content, and I didn't want to have a whole bunch of cuts through this, so I, for the most part, left a lot of it in. But we are getting close to the end here. Just trying to find a place to put this little medical clinic. I think that's the Vanilla Medical Clinic. Don't remember. But anyway, I went back and looked at the traffic again. It was still no better, so just come back over here. We need some schools, and I do some nice detailing to this elementary school, but I think I accidentally cut it out. But yeah, the music's starting to fade in the background. Yeah, I unfortunately cut out the detailing here. In the next episode, I'll make sure to put a cinematic in somewhere to show off the detailing that I did there. But now we're into the cinematics, so the music's starting to overpower me. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my first edited video. Feel free to leave comments down below, and have a good day.
Stupidity or weakness. It's just human nature.